Record calling. Record started.
Okay. So this is like earlier it used to be R2 architecture where there's like server and client. Server is nothing but just whatever data are there, like whatever the information are there. Clients are not nothing but the each of the system. Let's say client one, there will be workspace one, next workspace two. So these are the different I think centers, workspace center where they can able to access any sort of information from a server. So what is the disadvantage of being this architecture is that when your number of client will increase, I mean number of workspace will increase, that will be having a load on server. Okay, because that server has some sort of limitation.
Mm-hmm.
So if the client number of client will get increased, then it will be having load on server. So just encounter this problem. Now SAP has came up with the R by 3 architecture where they're able to understand that okay, now this R2 architecture is not going to be much more efficient in terms of performance. So they just implemented this R by 3 architecture. So where they have a 3 layer. First layer
Okay.
is database layer. So they are just particularly database layer will be only holding the data in a structured way. Okay. So it will
Okay.
be tables or maybe views. So everything will be at the database layer. All sort of information. It will not be like whatever the views tables we are displaying in SE11. That is purely at our presentation layer. Okay, that is a different thing. But database layer has, so once you click on save
Mm-hmm.
for a particular transaction code, the data is stored in a different way that we cannot see it. It will be
Okay.
stored in a different way based on the availability of the memory. Okay. Now next comes is application layer. So application layer will help you to bring the data. This is like a bridge in between the presentation layer and the database layer. So it will be helping you to communicate the information from the presentation to database. Suppose, for example, let's say you are designing an application, let's say a module custom screen,
Mm-hmm.
and there are like I think there are few fields like drop down and the list boxes, check boxes, all of them. Whatever you are displaying in your screen is called the presentation layer because you can
Right.
view it and you can interact in. Okay, you can interact with those elements. Then whatever the interaction you did, let's say you click on save or click on delete, whatever the buttons or checkbox you clicked, or the list box value you selected from that list box or from a drop down. So that will be once you click on save, it will first go to the application layer, and the application layer will be just help you to push the data to database layer. So application layer is nothing but where we write all the so the communication happen, whatever logics we have written and all of this, like all the above codes basically executed in your application layer. Okay, so
Okay.
based on that, suppose you're writing any query, let's say select query. So
Mm-hmm.
that particular select query, let's say I am fetching a data from a mara table or a vbap table. So I am just writing that in a above code, let's say select single or select star. So I will make you understand what is the select star and select single. So when you're writing this statement, select single, let's say sales order or the sales order type from VBAK table with where condition. Let's say where sales order is equal to 123 or XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
So that particular information will be, the ABAP editor where you're writing all the ABAP code will be written in the ABAP editor, that is AC3080 code. So there, one that in particular query is written, it will be sending a backend instruction that yeah, I want from this table, these are the specified. So basically, application layer will help you to get the data and it will bring it to the application layer. Okay, you do not
Okay.
have direct interaction with the database layer
Mm.
because whatever the communications will be done by your application. So whatever the code you will write, that will be get executed in application layer, and it will bring that information to application layer, and from there you can able to see in if you want to see in a screen or in a report also kind of a presentation layer. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so presentation layer is nothing but just a GUI, graphical user interface. It may be a ECC system or maybe Fury are going you are displaying all this by a UI elements, right?
Okay.
Like you're displaying in a browser, whereas in ECC that we called SAP GUI, because SAP GUIs will help you to just display those information. So that is called the presentation layer. Application layer is where you write the exact code and where the above code is getting executed. Even SE38 also presentation layer, But when it get executed in backend, everything, that is called the application layer. So application layer basically help you to
Basically,
execute your
yeah.
ABAP
So
code.
basically, it is saying that presentation layer, it is means in front of the user, they use some
Presentation layer means whatever you see in your screen, that
right.
is presentation in
Right.
pretty simple language. Yeah.
Yes, yes. For in layman language, that is called application layer. That is all the transaction happen in the sense whatever we transaction means. Suppose let's
Application layer means internally whatever logics are that get executed inside,
right.
means in background, that
Mhm.
is being done by application layer, and it has some certain memory. It will not have like a attached memory. So it
Okay.
has some memories like a temporary memory where if you have any query, then it
Mm-hmm.
will bring the data and store in that actually. Okay.
Okay.
Once your program get executed completely, then that memory will be get freed up. It will be completely evacuated. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the what the use of the application. So application layer will help you. No, instead of interacting directly with the database layer, because directly interacting with the database layer will be take much more time.
Right.
But nowadays S4 HANA system has came, so where the database is very much efficient. So there is like you are pushing your code into the database, so that's push down code technique is working out. But whereas in the ECC, traditional ECC like 7.4 or ESP, all this, so they have this kind of way just to get a, if you're writing any query above code, then what will happen? It will push that no whatever the information needed, that will take it from, it will bring it from the database layer and store somewhere in the temporary memory. It depends. Like whenever the report execution you came out of the report, then everything will be get freed up. Okay.
Okay.
And database layer is where all the data are getting stored. That doesn't mean that it will be stored like what you see in SE11 transaction code. It's showing in a very systematic and structured way. That it won't be stored like that way. So that will be stored in a haphazard way. That depends. From for that actually there are different technique how the data bases informations are getting stored. So that is internal taken care by the console system. Okay. I mean um, every SAP
No,
uh,
means then where the okay, you are saying right, but it is systematic way. But where is the all the data, master data is saved in the
all are stored in database layer, but that is not be the way you looking at once you are seeing, yeah, this is a material number. It may be getting converted into some other format, or maybe it will be storing in a very much haphazard manner wherever it find a memory. That we cannot see it because that's the no, for that there is a algorithm where all this information is going and storing in certain following with the algorithm pattern. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you are saying that means all the master data saved in the database layer, but even though
Not only master data, all like
only master, all
transactional,
the
master, yeah, all sort
okay,
of data.
got it.
Okay. Any questions?
No. Okay.
Okay. So now let's move to the second, I think the next topic. So this diagram depicts about the the server and client. I mean the working mechanism, how get exactly it's work basically. But this has a bigger disadvantage that if you know the number of client or workspace get increased, then there will be huge load on the server, and hence this architecture has been discarded by SAP. Henceforth, we are now also we are into RY3 architecture. So when you talks about, there will be like all these three layer come in picture like in ECC. So there will be database layer and application server also will be multiple application layer, which will help if any request. Suppose you're clicking on you are clicking on a button. That means you are sending a request to the application layer that I want this information on my screen. So there
Okay.
may be, let's say, application one has a point, I mean, workspace one, workspace two, workspace three. So all of them sending the request to the application. So based on the like the in application server also there will be a lot of algorithm. Suppose let's say I'm suppose in an organization what happens, everyone gets their system, so they will always try to connect with the one application layer always, because suppose in a application in a company, what happens, suppose I am using a system, you are also using, but the kind of IP address for the system configuration using almost same for dev or for like for configuration or for the workbench changes, but all of these requests are going to the one place. Okay, it depends, like they may have a different application level to get the request. So all of this will be, so here exactly showing that like all the application server has been divided into different, different multiple sections, where each of the section will be capable of handling limited request. And this architecture proves no efficient way of managing the a request and response, because you are sending, you're clicking on a button, that means you're sending a request, and in turn you are getting some information in your screen, that means you're getting a response from that, right? So see, now also you are in ACC, this system, this architecture is still persist. Okay, do you have
Okay.
any question?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Now this is those the basic definitions what it's all actually. So it's mainly responsible to store only data, database layer, and application responsible to execute applications or program, as I told. So all the above code get executed in the applications layer. Okay.
So one question is, if we're writing any ABAP code, okay, or
Uh,
program, so it
mhm.
will executed in the application layer only, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Always, always, because application layer, it's a job of application layer that whatever logics you have written.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say any query you written a program. That means there will be a lot of things will be there, right? You will be fetching a lot of information for the backend to get it display in the front screen. So that
Mm-hmm.
particular logic will be get executed, and it will bring all piece of information to the application server, because the application server has a temporary memory
Uh-huh.
where it will bring all this information. Suppose, example, you are running a report. Let's say you are running a sales report where you
Mm-hmm.
want certain data. So what will happen? That particular information will be get from a database layer. It will
Mm-hmm.
get accumulated in the application server unless until you are in a suppose you are executing. So
Okay.
during that phase, what it do it is doing that is fetching all the information from database layer and bringing to the application server, and
Okay.
then application server layer is the cell helping you to display that information. I mean, presentation layer where you're getting display those information. So
Mm-hmm.
application server will provide that information. Okay, you are not directly interacting with the database layer, because since any workstation cannot directly interact with the database layer, because this is typically happened in the client and server mechanism where we are seeing the R2 architecture. So that we saw that is inefficient. So
Okay.
in order to manage that resource, so database is nothing but a resource. Okay, you are trying to manage something, so you want somebody who can manage. So that application server is managing that. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
there are a lot of algorithm written backend, so that it is managing the how many requests is got and how the request queue should be. Suppose five people has click a same button, so they'll keep in a queue. So like that, there is a lot of algorithm that manages through the application server. Okay.
Okay. So you're saying that whenever we execute any program, okay,
Mm. Yeah.
so at that time, system from application system will call the all the whatever the code we written in that program, particular program, fetch
Okay.
from the database server, and it will execute in the applications server, right? So
Yes.
once we executing the program, so it
Mm.
will fetch all the data, all the whatever the in the duration of execution. So
Mm.
it will like a structure, means it will store temporarily, and that.
It will be there temporarily. Once your program execution over, you came out of the report, then that particular memory will get free up.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. It
Right.
cannot accumulate for a long period of time, because no, you are not going to display the particular report for long. Once the
Yes, yes.
data extraction done to Excel or some sort of file,
Hmm.
then obviously it will get closed. And during that phase, what will happen? It will be like all the memory what has been used for your program, that will be get freed up. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So any questions further?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Go
Good.
ahead.
So yeah. So now the above part starts where exactly the few technical things. So in any programming language, let's say you talk about C, Java, C++, or any other traditional way of programming language, the basic fundamental thing will be started from a data types, because data types are the are the key. I mean the concepts where you were using in any sort of programming language just to
Hmm.
declare the variables. Variables. What are the use of variables? In layman language, variables are nothing but it's a container to hold a value. Okay. So for example, I have a 5. Okay, I have a value 5. Let's say I'm taking a value of a sales order. Let's say 200 or 2000, 2 lakh, whatever information. Where I need that information to capture somewhere, right?
Right.
Otherwise, I cannot write a program. So what I'll do, I
Mm-hmm.
will declare a variable. Okay. So in general, I will declare a variable. Variable. What will happen if you declare a variable? It will allocate a memory for you in a backend. Okay. It will allocate a memory for you, and that particular memory will hold that value called 2 lakh or 205, what 200 or 5, whatever value we have, that particular memory will hold that value. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just to declare a variable, we need a data type in every programming language. So in ABAP also we have three type of databases, data types. First one is elementary, where you are just know um, like simple database type, and you have a second one is complex type, third one is reference. So we'll discuss all of them in detail. So let
Mm-hmm.
me talk with the first is the elementary type. Okay.
Okay.
Elementary types are nothing but a two type basically. One is predefined, another is a user defined.
Okay.
So what is this predefined? Predefined means if you go to any SC11 transactions,
Mm-hmm.
so let me go here. Okay, let me discuss first. I think for that I need to log into the VPN all. Okay. So anyway, okay. So any like you have two types of um, elementary types, that is predefined and user defined. So predefined are if you go to SC11, try to create a table. Okay, try to create a table. There you will be having no some data types predefined. That's mean that has been already declared by the SAP itself. Okay. So like X string, string, deci float. Okay, float.
Okay.
So these are all the has been taken. I mean declared by SAP itself. So you can directly use that types. These are the predefined types. Okay. Now
Okay.
what is this user defined type? User defined types means suppose you declared something. Let's say any type. Let's say Z. Okay. What you can take a Z type, custom type. You can have a character of 10 or character of 1 or integer. Okay. So all of these are local actually. You can have a declare in a program, but globally, how you can use data elements.
Okay.
But how
So,
can you see that? Huh?
so I
Yes,
have
come.
one question here. So you're saying that all the data type is a, like a variable. Okay.
Correct.
So
No,
we
no, no, data types are not the variable. When you declare something with that, suppose, okay, let me go and log in so that you can understand. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. So, okay,
okay. Okay.
so here, okay, sorry, actually, I have a problem in VPN. I cannot log in. Okay, anyway, I'm just showing here in the table, I mean, the notepad. So, what is actually?
Okay.
So, there is like, let's say, X string is one of the data type has been declared already by the SAP. Is there in SAP X string? Then you have a string. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Means,
you have, let's say, time for time. You have a darts. Okay. So these are all predefined. That's mean these are all defined by SAP. So if you go there in the S11,
okay. You're saying that it is standard which is already predefined by the SAP.
exactly,
So
already
we
been
don't need to
predefined.
okay. So whenever we need the customization, in the sense I am getting your point. So whenever suppose let's say we are fetching one report or you are creating one report. Okay.
Mhm.
So for
Yeah,
that there is pre-existing tables are already there. So
yeah.
if you need any G table, then we have to create that
No,
user
not stable. I'm talking.
means like
See,
that one means sting
yeah,
means
yeah. So suppose I want some variable. Let's say oh, okay. For your example, just to tell that no, create a table called G sales table.
yes.
There I want some information like no, let's say um, the customer detail. Okay, I mean I want the customer.
Ah, okay.
Then I want customer address. Okay.
Yes, customer address.
Then I want let's say customer payments. I mean, payments should be done by or not. Okay, by the customer. So all this information. What I'll do, I need to create all these fields in Z cells table, right?
Right.
So what I'll do, I don't. Let's say I found that I mean no predefined has been defined these fields. So
Okay.
what I'll do, I'll create a Z type. Okay, G. I mean element type, data element type, G customer.
Okay.
This will be having um let's say of care of 100 or care of 200. Okay, so this way I can create with a Z. Got it? No?
Uh-huh.
So this Z customer is nothing but you'll be having character of 200.
Uh-huh.
So but if I'll take X string type string, or let's say I'm taking string, then this is already defined by SAP itself. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got your point.
So similar with Z address, so it may be care of 200, or if you don't want to use that, you can use with the string. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so like suppose you have a time also. Time is a field where time created time. Okay,
Okay.
created time.
Mm-hmm.
For that I can use some other field like times kind of custom one, but SAP has given teams. Okay, I
Right.
mean TIMS is a data type. I mean overally what I want to say, if anything is available in SAP, just use that. Okay, don't create your own.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I have something teams or like any other types, let's say that's for date. Okay, try to
Mm-hmm.
use that. If you're
Okay.
not having, suppose your requirement is specifying, okay, I want a customer for 200 character, not more than that, then just
Okay.
go and type a data element with the care of 200. Okay, what my point?
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so this is actually what it defines actually. So there are like um, two category of you can have a data type. So you can have a predefined and user defined. Okay, so either you can use which is defined by SAP, or you
Mm-hmm.
can create your own. Okay, how can you create your own? You can create by like this. You can take
And
an
how
integer.
just
You can, yeah, these are the local declaration where you can use in the program, whereas global is you can use your data elements.
okay.
Data element I will show once I'll get the server access. So
Okay.
I think I don't have right
So
now.
I
So
have one
I'll
question, further one question. So if you are saying that there is a two type of data element, one is user defined and another is predefined. So
okay.
how you see the all the predefined data element?
That will be seen in S11 when you create any
See.
sort of data elements,
Mm-hmm.
custom data elements. That time in F4 you can see list of all predefined types. Okay.
Okay, okay. So especially whenever we create customize, then only use the predefined, sorry, user defined, or
Not
whenever
necessarily, not
if
necessarily.
it is not present, if it is not present.
Yeah, it's not present, then only you'll go with the create your own custom. Suppose you want, no, I want my custom name to be 200 character only, not more than that. So if any other data type or data elements, it's not justifying to your variable, then
Mm-hmm.
just go and create a custom data element, or yeah, you can create a custom data element. Okay,
Okay,
because that's not been satisfied by the predefined type, so just create your own. Okay,
okay, okay, got it, got it.
that is the thing. So this is about the, I mean, about the elementary type. So elementary, you have two types. That is, so all these types are basically use, extring, float. I mean, these are the basic thing. These are not the part of
Mhm.
predefined, but these are the basic thing. I mean,
Okay.
basic data type. Okay, any
So,
program
so,
will basic.
so whenever you create any data type, so we need the character, then we need whether it is local or global.
It is numerical. Yeah, you can have a numeric character also. N D is for the fixed length. T
So
is for the time.
I got this character. Okay, character means how many character you use, whether it is numeric or sorry, it is 200 or 20 or maybe 10. And for numeric, you are using the numeric character only, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can
yeah, for
that
numeric.
the alphabet, right? Yeah.
Here, numeric character means you can use either, let's say, some password is consists of 1, 2, 3 ABCD something is there, right?
Acha,
So
means
that
you are
kind
saying
of
that
value.
it is alphanumeric.
Yeah,
Numeric.
yeah. This alpha numeric character is selling, na? It's numeric character. Okay, my
Only numeric.
number and character.
Okay.
D is you if you want to store some sort of date. Okay. T is for time. Hexadecimal is for some sort of your what you can have some sort of hexadecimal means some sort of information we are storing in a binary format. Okay.
Okay.
Binary format means suppose you want to store the photos and the media file. So media
Okay.
files are how it gets stored. It's a 00111 something like get converted, right?
Okay. Okay.
But exactly we are not using hexadecimal for that. Suppose you want to have some sort of boolean. I mean there are certain values you are converting to, like boolean to ASCII, ASCII to boolean, right? You got my
Okay.
point, right? Suppose A in ASCII character A you're converting 65, then that you are converting to boolean. So that sort of boolean information will be some 011 001 something information are there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that are stored in hexadecimal. Okay. Integer
Mm.
means suppose fixed value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these values are stored in integer. Float means 2.0, 2.5, 2.6, 7. I mean decimal values always.
Okay. Okay. Decimal. Floating is
Yeah,
decimal.
pegged ratio here in SAP we have pegged. Pegged are nothing but to store no bigger amounts of decimal, because pegged are generally used in our programming level also,
Okay.
because to deal with huge values like 200, I mean 2 lakh, 2 crore, whatever the value point, because floating can be hold some, there is a limitation. Floating has a limited length actually.
Okay.
You
Okay.
cannot go beyond certain length. So pegged can hold any value. Like how pegs are declared basically. Suppose I want to store this value. Let's say 2 lakh. I mean this is 20,000. Okay, this is 2 lakh.
So, Ratna, one thing is there. So,
Hmm.
declare means what you means saying means in program level first we declare, right?
See how you will declare. Suppose I want to store this value. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
I want to store this value. How I will do that? I will go with the data keyword, because data keyword is used to declare the any variable. Then
Okay.
LV net value, NET value. So why LV? This is local variable. LV means local
Okay.
variable. Okay.
Okay.
Type. I'll go with a P. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then if I want to have a decimal of 2 or 3, so I'll
Mhm.
go with a decimal 2 like this. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Got
Got
my
it.
point. So what this value will store? No, this will store pegged means it will capture all this point before point, and you are defining how many decimals should be there. So you're
Yeah.
telling that
It's in the
my
two
pegged
decimal.
value should be 2 decimal. If it's 3 decimal means some quantity field will be having 3 decimal. It depends, right?
Okay. Right. 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 Even also
So
there's some we consider four decimal also.
yeah, 4
Up,
decimal also.
up to
So
two decimal it is standard. After that we
exactly.
will write here. Okay. Got it.
78.50. So the value will be get stored. Suppose you want to have a quantity field like this.
Mm-hmm.
LV quantity. I mean, let me just write it fully. Quantity type. Let's say I want to have a pack decimals, and I will take as a 3. So what will happen here? LV quantity. LV quantity. So it will store this value. Let's say um 1 kilo 300 grams, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct, no?
Correct.
Yeah, or 250, let's say 250.
Okay.
Okay, like that's.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the use of this pact. This value cannot be held by a floating, because this is quite large. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
float can hold you 2.5, 1.5, like that. Okay,
Okay.
11, something like that.
So better always
Floating will be holding your 2 decimal only. It cannot be go 3 decimal like. But pact by using you can have a whatever decimal you can define. Okay.
okay. Okay.
So these are all like string and string. The strings, why? What is the difference of string and character?
Ah,
String
right.
will be variable length. Suppose you don't know how many values will come. You are not decisible about how many characters may come. So that time you will go with the string. Okay.
No, exactly.
For example, let's say your name may have a 20 character. My name have a 2 character. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So you don't know how many character to define, right? So basically, in that case, you will take a string. If you
Okay.
take any variable string and try to assign a value, it will automatically accommodate that particular. I mean, it will automatically take that much space, and rest it will be taken care by SAP. How the memory will be management will be done. Okay.
Okay. So basically, means when we're going to string or X string.
Hmm. A string is basically when you try to know. store like I think PDF files. Okay,
Okay.
PDF files, Word documents, then all sort of informations are getting stored in string format.
Okay.
Got
So,
my
I'm exactly asking, whenever we go for the, actually I'm technical, not sound, so that I'm
okay.
asking you. So, string means what is when we are using the string?
String means, as I told, let's say for example, practically if you're talking, let's
Mm-hmm.
say you have some
Let's say go to your,
material description. Okay,
okay.
material description.
Mm-hmm.
Material description.
You are already then, means you are creating a G table for this customer. Okay. For this
Okay.
customer, you are creating the character. Okay.
Okay.
So, and address also you
So
are
yeah, here also you can always you take a string. Why?
okay.
Because you don't know how many length of the. I mean, any customer can have a name of two. I mean, minimum
Two, maybe
10,
four, maybe 10,
10
maybe
or
yeah.
20. Okay,
Yes, yes, yes.
maybe 15. So these are all the variable. I mean, you cannot decide by taking a character. So better to take a string, so that if you give a string, it will
Uh-huh.
take a dynamic. You will see, okay, your name is 10 character. So then
Mhm.
it will block 10 characters only. It will not go beyond that.
Right,
Now
right.
you give a 20 character of name.
Mm-hmm.
So what will happen? SAP will take, okay, this is 20 character. Then I need to book 20 character 20. So like this. Got my point. So string will take care of the dynamicness of that particular value. So here
Okay.
actually we are storing only simple value. I mean the names or any sort of data. But
Mm-hmm.
whereas if you have any sort of PDF files, okay,
Okay, okay.
PDF, Word docs,
Mm-hmm.
all sort of like all file related things.
Okay,
File related. If you want to store in a table, then always you should take as a string type.
okay.
बुझले?
Got
So
it.
these are the things actually in data type. Any question for that?
No, actually, I understood all these things, all the points.
Okay.
So, whenever you go to system, then only it will clearly visible to you.
Yeah, that's true. Good. So this is all about your elementary type. Now let's move
So
to the
there's
comp.
two type data, sorry, local and global. So we completed the local, right?
No, no,
And
these are
global.
actually elementary type. You have two types: predefined, user-defined type.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you
Yes.
come to user-defined type, there are two. Like you can have a global or local. Okay, you can define something in a program, or
Mm-hmm.
you can create in a SC11 level, that is global data elements. Okay.
Okay. Got it. So whenever
Then
you write LV means it is local variant, right? And for
yeah,
the global variant, we should look GB, right?
GB, yeah, correct,
Okay.
GB. Okay, so like if you go to any other programming where the any ABAP has written, so this LV means you can identify this local variable,
Okay.
GB means global variable. Okay,
Okay.
now let's move to the type 2 complex type. So what exactly this complex type? Here in complex type, you will have a structure. Structure means it will be having a collections of fields. Okay, you have a collections of fields. So local time means I will have a one variable. Okay, at a time I will declare only one variable. But here at a time you are going to allocate space for the multiple fields. Okay, multiple fields means how you can do that. Suppose you told you have a some table. Okay, and there actually it required a five fields. Like for example in VBAK, if you go,
Mm-hmm.
VBAK will be having lot of fields, right?
Right.
So here let's say uh, okay, now I have a field one. For example, I have a PBLN. Okay, then
Mm.
I have a Postner.
Right.
Then I have a Metner.
Partner, it will not come in PBAK.
BBAP it will be there.
Yeah.
Then I have a NETWR.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then I have a ERNM. Right.
Right. Right.
So all this information. So these are having so this five information. I want in a single entity.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't want to create an individual variable for each of them. I want all this information to be single entity. So that can be done by a structure. Okay. So
Okay.
structure is nothing but it's a collection of multiple fields. Okay. So exactly, okay. Now, if you talk about structure cannot allocate memory. Why? Because it's a template. You are telling that, okay, now what basically how you create this structure, there are two types. One is through S11, okay. Another is via like the type declaration you're doing, okay, types. So what exactly if I want all this information to be single, so I'll write types begins of ty. Always remember that type declaration done by ty underscore, okay.
Okay.
So say I'm taking as a cells is my types. Then here what I'll do, I will take BBLN. I can take BBLN or I can take some other based on my convention, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then I can take on. Always remember you don't give this VBLN. Always take a data element. Data element what I'll show tomorrow. Okay, once we'll get server. But always take a data element over here. Don't take table type because that will impact your performance.
Okay.
Always take data element. Okay, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can take. You may give same name also just to avoid confusion. Okay. VBLN then comma. Can give Posner type. Posner. Then you have a material number, Metner, and then next is you have a cell short or net value. Sorry, this is you can have net anywhere type NETWR, and this is created by here num. Okay, now this I'll end this type declaration end of ty underscore cells. Now this what exactly this is doing? This is giving me a skeleton. Okay, so for example, you are constructing a building, so you are giving skeleton to pillars, right? In the building you have multiple pillars, so how you're defining all these skeletons by using the different ranges of steel rods, all this. So
Okay.
same way I'm just giving this is a template. It doesn't allocate any memory. This type declaration will not allocate any memory. This is just a skeleton. So I'm telling that if this skeleton has a 5 field, okay. If anybody try to declare any variable or structure, just a ls. So this is ls means local structure, okay. GS means global structure.
Okay.
So let's say anybody trying to declare this type, I mean structure, local structure. So it will be like a EY cells. So this LS cells will be having how many fields?
5 fields.
5 fields. Okay, because I declared only once, but in this variable I want all these 5 fields. Instead of declaring 5 times, I'll go and I'll take a structure. I will take a type declaration and type and I'll make as a I'll declare it. So as soon as I declare data, then the memory allocation has been done. Okay, the memory allocation has been done. Got my point? Any confusion?
Actually, no, my confusion is without declare the types means these 5 fields.
Mm-hmm.
Can you direct go to the data ls underscore cells? No, na.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
So first you create the structure, then only you can declare the all the means.
Now, no. So now also these are see in the traditional approach this used to be, but if in S4 HANA, if you are in S4 HANA,
Okay,
what you
okay.
can do now, you could give like at the rates annotation and create a ls cells.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be how this will understand what field need to be based on what field it will create a structure. It
Right.
will be get understand from a select query. Suppose I'm selecting something, select single. Let's say I'm selecting BBLN,
So just a
comma.
minute for me here, Ratna. I want
Uh,
to exactly select query in the sense what that means exactly in layman language.
select query, this keyword will bring the information from a backend table. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell, let's say there is a table, S11 table VBA. So that information getting, let's say sales order is 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Customer name is, let's say, some XYZ.
Okay.
Posner is 10. Okay.
Okay.
Metner is, let's say, some 18 followed by some zeros.
Mm-hmm.
Net value, let's say 20 lakh.
Okay.
TNM, let's say I'm talking about Shyam. Okay.
Okay.
So this particular information. So let's say in a table you may have 100 records like this. You may have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of record. You may have a lot of record. Okay.
Right. Right. Right.
There may be 100,000, whatever it may be.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
this select statement, you are fetching a particular record. So for that,
Mm-hmm.
where condition we are using. Okay.
Okay.
Got my point, right? So where I will use where
Mm-hmm.
my VBLN equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what
Oh.
this will do, this will
Mm-hmm.
go and search the database. It will pick this key. Okay. Now I have a BBLN is equal to 1, 2, 3. I mean, yes. So bring all this information to my structure. Got
Okay.
my point? So to
Got it.
bring this piece of information to your structure, and then you can manipulate them. You can try to utilize or show them in a report, or you can know you can utilize somewhere in a BAPI or something you can do. You got my point, right? So this is the use of select. We'll go to that point actually, or this
Okay. Okay.
data manipulation, data query languages already. So that will go to that point.
Mm.
So so what I'm saying, your now the before that your question is that without using this type declaration, can I directly go and declare this? No, you cannot
Right.
do this way. But
Mm-hmm.
there are way like now the new syntax has been came right above 7.4 where you can have a like this kind of annotation at the rate data ls cells. How
Mm-hmm.
it will decide that what sort of structure it need to follow the
Right.
way you have taken the fields over here. Okay, so this structure will be having Viblen, Posner. So the structure will be having 3 fields.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, it will pick all the like. Okay, now you're taking 3 fields. What are these fields? Viblen, Posner, material number. So based
Mm-hmm.
on that, this LS structures will create a structure. Okay.
Oh, got it. Means same thing. Means better means if you go for the IC11 or maybe you're in S4 HANA, but first you need to give the structure only. Means field means you are creating in
No,
SE11
here difference is that you are not doing all this stuff actually.
all
You are
this.
not doing all this type declaration. Okay.
Mhm.
So directly you are going and selecting data, and so you're
That-
using this. Yeah. So this is a new, I think, shortcut way. Just now, even people are frequently using this now also. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is the way. So okay, now you got the pointer. What is the structure? Structure will be giving a template of fields. Once you declare it, any local structure with the data
Mhm.
keyword, then the memory allocation will be. So this structure will be not having only one field. It may have a multiple fields. So this, what is the use of this? You are avoiding no declaring multiple variable. Yeah, at a time you are declaring for multiple fields. Okay.
Okay,
So that is the thing.
got it.
So now let me go to my slide. So same way, this is structure type. Then you have a table type. Okay. So
Okay.
what is the difference between structure and table type? Structure will be having always single record. Okay.
Mm.
You cannot have multiple records in the structure. Whereas table type, suppose I want multiple
One
rows
minute.
and
1 minute. But you're saying that this is structure type. Okay. So we are having multiple also, na means VVLN, Postner, Metnar. So we are have
no.
multi.
These are the columns actually. These are the columns, not the multiple. You got my point. These are the multiple columns.
Oh, okay, okay. I got it. I got it. Okay.
Okay, these are the multiple columns, not the rows.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, so in one house there is only one structure, right?
Yeah, so so the structure can accommodate only one value, means one row record. It cannot have multiple row. Okay.
Okay, okay,
So to have a multiple rows, what you will do now, you will create a table type. Table type means it will be like a rows and column will be there. Okay.
okay.
So I want, let's say, multiple record. Let's say I want have a 1, 2, 3 sales order,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6, then
Mm-hmm.
9, 0, then I have 100. This is 4 sales order. Then okay, the Posner value will be, let's say, 10,
Mm-hmm.
20,
Mm-hmm.
40, let's say 50, like this. Then I have a material, let's say 34001 is a material. Then I have a 35001 as a one material. So like this, actually, you got my point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, table type will hold a multiple record in the sense multiple rows.
Okay.
Structure will be having only single rows of record.
Okay. Okay.
So to store this information, we want a table
So
type.
you told that only single row in especially structure in table we can store multiple rows, right?
Yeah, multiple rows and multiple. These are what the practical required. Okay, like okay. Anyway, now if you now it doesn't mean that always from a database you will fetch a one record, maybe multiple record, right? So
Obviously.
let's say so I want this all piece of information. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this all piece of information into my tables. I mean, I have a table types. How will declare a table by same the type declaration structure will be there locally, but instead of the type I will take table type of. So let me declare the data, and then I'll use, let's say, LT local table. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cells type table of TY cells. Okay, now this LT cells will be able to accommodate my all this information. So when I write select statement, I will write select. Okay, I'll use as a star I to fetch all the information, but I don't want that. I want all these fields.
Mm-hmm.
I want all these fields. BBLN. Then I will select Posner. I'll select Matner.
Mm-hmm.
Then NETWR. ERNM from, let's say, cells Z cells table. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to LT cells.
Okay, means okay, you are fetching that data into LT cells. Okay.
Where, let's say, Posner is equal to or in Pazner in 10, 20, what are the values are there?
Mm-hmm.
40, 50,
Okay.
50 comma 50. So
Mm-hmm.
what this particular query will do, it will fetch all this information because in my condition I have given 10, 20, 40, 50. Okay. So this will be having how many records now?
Four.
4 records. Okay. What my point that so whenever you try to fetch a multiple records from a database table, that time either you will go with a table type. So locally how you can do that, you have to take a type table of by declaring type declaration.
Mm-hmm.
Globally you have to declare a table type in S11 transaction code. Okay, so I'll show that how you can do globally because that has advantage. What is the advantage? Because suppose that will ensure a reusability. Reusability, suppose you create a table type of structure, you can utilize it at multiple places. But when you try to declare locally, you can utilize that particular program. You cannot utilize it anywhere. Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, got it.
You cannot use this type declaration TY cells in any other
Suppose, yeah,
program.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. So suppose five fields need to be fetched in another. Suppose you're creating it as Z cells.
Correct.
Tomorrow we will create a Z metner or Z bander. We need these fields. So you can fetch this structure. Okay, right? You're saying that if you store in the global structure.
Correct. I mean, global means through data dictionary, that is through S11 transaction code.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So this is the complex type. I mean, complex type in the sense you are dealing with the multiple fields.
Okay.
Okay, that's the complex type.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one is the reference type. Reference types
So,
is nothing.
Ratna,
Yeah.
do one thing. If you go for that, so today we'll close this session. Okay. So
Okay.
tomorrow we
Okay.
will start. Okay. So once we get the server access, na, then that is better for okay.
Okay, fine. So I think if you can